Hello, I have here LEGO's Defense of Hoth set. It's a very humble defense. This is primarily a minifig pack, so I will focus on those, but first let's get those out of the way and talk about the other builds, because this comes with two of these little power packs, which I believe are intended to provide power to these heavy machine guns, which do look quite a bit like E-Webs. That confused me at first, but then I went back and looked and I'm like, oh yeah, Rebels did have a thing like this as well, and these work perfectly fine for those. The coolest thing here is that you get all of these extra blasters that are used for the legs here. After all this time that we've been not getting blasters, we've been getting those stud shooters in battle packs. Well, now we get a bunch of extra blasters to help make up for it. But it works, it totally works for the tripod base there. And I'm really happy to get these as well, which you don't have to use as power packs if you want. But I mean, they're perfectly fine. Simple little builds that make sense in the context of the Defense of Hoth. This is a miniature P tower. I mean, compared to the size of a minifigure, it's small. So that's a little bit disappointing. A little bit of snow around the bottom. The good thing about this is that it can rotate around 360 degrees and it can also be angled up and down. That's pretty important. They haven't always done that. Some of the much more complex builds, much larger builds for these things, see, it doesn't stay together all that well because of the limited number of pieces, but some of the larger, more complex builds have not been able to get the basic types of articulation that you want out of this thing. So that works, and it's got a little console on the back, another one of that same printed piece, and a figure can even hold it here. So to me, this is successful, even though, again, it is definitely undersized, but other than that, it works. They probably had to make it this small, honestly, now that I think about it, just to fit into the blister pack. The two minifigures on the right have identical torsos and identical printed legs with no printing on the sides of those legs. The one on the left has a different torso, obviously, and no printing for the legs whatsoever. All of these have identical hat pieces with the goggle visor part that can be placed in the upper position like this, which to me looks great, or the lower position, which to me looks very derpy. Just with the space that's available there's only so much that they could do with these designs. I wish that was up a little bit higher, but it just looks weird to me. Fortunately, more real blasters here, the long ones this time, and the guy in the middle right now also has the white electro binoculars or macro binoculars there, which is nice to get in that uncommon color. Two of these have the alternate faces. Gosh, that print is super clear. Actually, this one's super clear as well. Very good production work. Excellent production work with all of these figures. All three of them, in fact. Super clean. I didn't realize that. That's really good. I'm happy about that. It's too bad that we don't get an alternate face here, but if you noticed at first, when the hat is on there, you do see the face on the back. You do see the lower part of the print of the mouth, which is unfortunate. And I think that the hat really should have been designed to cover that up, because that's just not a good look. It's really not a good look. It's not something that you want to see. Using this in its intended purpose as a toy, it's not that big of a deal, but kids do, some kids do care about stuff like that. Like, why can I see the other teeth from the back? So it would have been nice to get it better for everybody. I will point out something that will make a lot of people mad here, but I'm here to share not other people's perspective on things, but my perspective on things. And I should be allowed to speak my mind about simple stuff, about nerdy stuff, about geeky stuff. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I'm also a big fan of diversity. I'm not talking about diversity of race, diversity of gender. I'm talking about diversity in general. I like different stuff. You look at my musical playlist and you'll see I like a lot of different stuff, okay? So I really appreciate that they do include 3 different skin tones here. I especially like this skin tone. I think it works even amongst yellow figures like my Lego City has. However, when it comes to massing just regular troops for a big battle display, if you want to make something that looks like the Empire Strikes Back battles early on, this guy's going to stand out. And it's not because of his race, it's because of his color. It's just the look. It's going to stand out and it's not going to look accurate. I think it's okay to acknowledge that. It should be okay to acknowledge that. It's not a racist thing to say. That said, if you want to make a more, if you care about that at all, many people will not, which is great. If you care about that, the good thing here is if you want to make a more accurate arrangement of people on a Hoth-specific accurate battlefield, because these don't have skin-toned hands, they all have just the generic light gray gloves. You only need to pop out the head, and that's it. And I'm really happy that these use the exact same torso. They didn't bring in a female-specific torso. Like, this stuff just works in general. So, every once in a while, I will go outside of the general comfort zone and just speak my mind about some stuff. And I hope most of you will be okay with that. And if you're not, I'm okay with that as well. Just don't watch the content. It's all good. Different strokes for different folks and all that. Last little thing here, these are the 2 leftover parts. That's it. And I believe the 3 long bar in red is new for this year, or at least it's relatively new. I've not seen it prior to this season. I paid $15 for this set. Came in the blister pack, as these minifig accessory packs do these days. It's not a boxed set. And $15 means that I did basically pay a little less than $4 for each of these figures, which is a very, very normal thing to do. We very frequently calculate the price. We Lego fans very frequently calculate the price of figures in sets at $3 to $4, and some people even say $5, since the collectible minifigure packs are $5. I'm not going to give them $5, especially not in a set. But under $4 a piece feels very normal. That said, $15 for a battle pack essentially is more than $13, which is what sets of this nature cost not too long ago. It's also more than $10, which actual battle packs used to cost. Also, 3 figures here is less than 4, which battle packs used to have 4. Before that, they had 5. So I totally understand people who especially have been in the hobby for a while, especially been fans of Lego Star Wars for a while, saying, well, this is just less stuff for more money, because it is. That's just a fact. But on the other side, like I said, we very frequently look at minifigures and value them at $3 to $4 or so, and that's what you're paying here. So I'm a little torn on that. I can't be outraged about the price, even though you are indeed, again, I will repeat, you are paying more for less. But the amount that you are paying at this point still doesn't feel outrageous to me yet. I much prefer the pricing of minifig packs from other manufacturers who give you more for the same price, and a lot more and much better quality figures that do a lot more and have more detail and everything. But for a Lego thing, Lego Star Wars, I just can't be outraged. Overall, the set is pretty good. I think that the only thing that I personally would have really asked for reasonably to make this better would have been one more medium or light nougat head, just as a substitute to be able to throw in here for massing sake. Oh yeah, and then that whole thing of being able to see the smile around the back. I would like them to consider that a little bit more in the future with the design of parts, and allow for dual-sided heads, because I love dual-sided heads. Maybe at some point in the future we might even get different people on two sides. Like, we might have a male on one side and a female on the other side, or give us fans who want to make bigger scenes the opportunity to have even more choices for the same amount of money within the same thing. Like, they've started bringing in hair pieces with some of the sets now. Thankfully, finally, after years of asking for it, started bringing in hair pieces as alternates for helmets. Let's be able to use the faces a little bit more. Just random little things that I think about. Thank you for watching. If you made it to this point, congratulations. I'll talk to you again soon.